Hey guys, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. Special thanks to all of my patrons. My name's Neil and it's time for the next episode of University Challenge. We've got another second round match today. This is episode 22 from the current series and it's King's College London versus Hertford Oxford. We haven't yet had an Oxford college make it through past the second round yet. Three Cambridge colleges have, so Oxford's got some ground to make up. But yeah, I don't have too much more to offer at this point, so let's jump right into it. Fingers on buzzers. Here's your first starter for 10.
Now, the team from King's College London had their work cut out beating the University of Glasgow in their first round match, but they did so with 115 points to 100 at the gong. Now, Hertford College Oxford had an easier time of it in their first round match against London Business School, which they won by 180 points to 100. Here's your first starter for 10. Hailed as one of the most successful international agreements since it came into force in 1961, which treaty, initially signed by 12 nations, aims to protect the land it describes as a natural reserve devoted to peace and science?
The Antarctica Treaty.
That's correct, yes. In a work first published in 1937, Orwell states that our civilization is founded on what substance?
Dirt, maybe. It sounds
Gold.
Like something from down and out in Paris and London.
Right, okay.
Dirt.
No, it's not. It's founded on coal.
Coal.
Orwell likens miners to what female figures in classical architecture, noting that upon their shoulders, nearly everything that is not grimy is supported.
Is it nymphs?
No, it's caryatids. Down the Mine was the second chapter of what work of social reportage based on a journey in Lancashire and Yorkshire?
The Road to Wigan Pier.
Correct. Which English poet and dramatist did Seamus Heaney describe as a kind of cross between Oscar Wilde and Jack the Ripper? Title figures for his works include a Carthaginian queen, an Asiatic conqueror, an early 14th century English king, and a necromancer who sells his soul to the devil.
Christopher Marlowe?
Christopher Marlowe is correct, yes.
Yeah, that last one was a giveaway.
17th century mathematicians. The author of the 1655 work, The Arithmetic of Infinitesimals, which English mathematician is credited with inventing the infinity symbol?
Newton?
I mean, Newton was English.
He certainly was. Was it Robert Hooke?
No, it wasn't. It was John Wallis. In 1655, the Dutch astronomer Huygens sent Wallis a coded message announcing the discovery of what astronomical body? Wallis responded with a hoax anagram, claiming it had already been observed by English astronomers.
The Halley's Comet sounds reasonable, but it could be something like Neptune or Uranus.
Uranus.
Was it Uranus?
No, it wasn't. It was Titan. And finally, as an undergraduate at Cambridge, which natural philosopher was greatly influenced by his study of Wallis's work, citing it as an inspiration for his own work on the binomial theorem?
Binomials? I mean, Newton was an undergrad at Cambridge.
Yeah, I'd say Newton, but I think it's wrong again.
Newton.
It was Isaac Newton.
Okay.
Yes, well done. NGC 1760 and the Tarantula Nebula are both highly active regions of star formation, about 160,000 light-years away, in which satellite galaxy of the Milky Way, a member of our local group of galaxies?
The Large Magellanic Cloud.
It is indeed, yes. Meaning hilly open country. What plural word follows Lincolnshire and Yorkshire in the names of two national character areas?
Dales, isn't it?
Is it Wolds?
It is Wolds, yes.
Nice.
What is the short name of the East England NCA, described as a distinctive historic and human-influenced wetland landscape lying to the west of the Wash estuary?
Fens?
East of England.
That's the Fens.
Yeah.
Is it the Fens?
It is the Fens, yes. What short word follows dark and white in the names of two NCAs that together form part of a national park?
Is it Peak?
Peak is correct, yes. Your picture starter, you'll see a map on which 3 cities have been marked. For 10 points, give the single short word that is common to all of their names.
San.
San.
San is correct. San Diego, San Antonio, San Juan. Here I want a 5-letter suffix. You can spell your answer for clarity if necessary.
Ville.
Ville, is that Jacksonville in Florida, maybe?
It's definitely Jacksonville.
That's very good.
Is
don't know if
that
it's
Virginia the
right.
second state?
And now that's North
No,
Carolina.
that's North Carolina.
Ville, V-I-L-L-E.
It is Jacksonville, Fayetteville, and Louisville.
Very good.
Secondly, I want a four-letter suffix here.
Cleveland, Oakland,
Maine.
L.A. Land,
California.
L-A-N-D. Oakland,
that's-
Cleveland,
No, that's not
and
It might be Palo Alto.
Portland.
Is it Port?
No, it's land, L-A-N-D, Portland, Cleveland, and Oakland.
Cleveland.
Finally, another five-letter suffix.
Okay. So that's
Polis,
Indiana.
Minneapolis, Indianapolis, and
That's-
Annapolis.
Is this going to
It's
be...
Maryland.
Oh, this is Annapolis,
yes,
Indianapolis, and
yes, there.
Minneapolis.
Polis, P-O-L-I-S.
Correct, and you identified them all correctly. Well done. Meaning forest clearing. What five-letter name links all of these?
King Sathyaнаth.
Glade.
No, you lose 5 points. What five-letter name links all of these towns in coastal Essex and Greater Manchester? The latter formerly represented in Parliament by Andy Burnham, and the surname of the
Heath?
director of Secrets and Lies and Peterloo.
Hertford Hitchens.
Lee.
Lee is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses are on a West African city, a centre of trans-Saharan salt and gold trade in the 14th century. Which city in Mali is home to Sankore University, an ancient centre of learning?
Timbuktu. Timbuktu.
Timbuktu.
You're right, it is probably Timbuktu. Which Berber-speaking pastoralist founded Timbuktu? In 2012, separatist rebels of this ethnic group took control of northern Mali and claimed Timbuktu as part of the independent state of Azawad.
Tuareg.
Tuareg is correct. Set in 1361, the musical Timbuktu by Roger Wright and George Forrest is a retelling of which stage work? Set in Baghdad and based on the music of Borodin.
Wasn't it
Scheherazade?
Prince Igor.
But set in Baghdad.
Prince Igor.
No, it's Kismet. What nationality is Professor Glenn Albrecht, who coined the word solastalgia in the early 2000s to describe the feeling of distress associated with environmental change close to one's home? In an explanation of the reasons behind his coinage, he referred to open-cast coal mining in the Hunter Valley.
American.
Hertford Donaldson.
Australian?
He is Australian, yes. What surname was shared by the two Nobel laureates in physics in 1915 for, quote, the analysis of crystal structure by means of X-rays?
Curie.
Bragg is correct.
Oh.
Give the surname of the brothers who won Nobel Prizes, one in economic sciences in 1969 and one in medicine 4 years later.
Not a clue.
Yeah. Laffer.
No, it's Jan and Nicholas Tinbergen. In 1965, Marie Curie's son-in-law, Henry Labouisse, accepted the Nobel Peace Prize on behalf of what international organisation, of which he was then director?
UNICEF.
Yeah,
maybe?
or like the Red Cross or something.
Okay, I thought might have something. to do with
UNICEF.
American-
This is pre-UN.
UNICEF.
UNICEF is correct. Well
Oh.
done.
I thought I heard an earlier date.
What two-word title was given to the collected reports assembled in 1830 and reprinted from the Political Register of travels made on horseback around the southern counties of England?
Hertford Lloyd.
Rural rides.
Rural Rides is correct. Your bonuses are on philosophers. All three required names begin with the same two letters. Born in Italy in about 1033, a churchman known as the father of scholasticism and associated with the ontological argument for the existence of God.
Is that Aquinas?
No.
St. Francis of Assisi?
Anselm.
Anselm is correct.
Okay.
Secondly, a
A.N.
student and translator of Wittgenstein at Cambridge. She was a moral philosopher who wrote the influential 1957 work Intention.
Anscombe.
Elizabeth Anscombe is correct.
Never heard of her.
Active in the 6th century BCE, who was the third thinker of Miletus, along with Thales and Anaximenes. He called the essential substance the appearance or indefinite.
Pass.
It's Anaximander. You're going to hear a piece of classical music. 10 points if you can name its composer.
Hartford's made this interesting. For some reason, Debussy is in my mind, but I have no.
Johann Strauss.
No?
Tchaikovsky.
No, it's Shostakovich. It's Dmitri Shostakovich. Firstly, this US composer.
Copeland? But
I know literally nothing about it.
Copeland's a good bet.
Is it Copeland?
It is Copeland, yes. Secondly, this French composer.
I feel like I've heard this in a movie soundtrack, but I don't know it at all.
1930s.
Oh, right.
Honegger?
No, it's not. It's Darius Milhaud. And finally, another French composer.
What are we going to do? Is it Messiaen?
No, it's Maurice Ravel. What is the common name of the simplest of the carboxylic acids used in processing textiles and leather? It was first...
Methanoic acid?
That is correct. Bonuses on astrobiology. In 2020, the possible astronomical detection of phosphine gas led to the suggestion that this substance might be a byproduct of microbial life in the atmosphere of which planet?
Mars?
Mars is the only option, I think.
Is it Mars?
No, it's Venus. In 2019, in the Gale crater on
Isn't
Mars,
Venus like 900
NASA's
degrees?
Curiosity rover detected unusually high concentrations above 20 parts per billion of what gas, which is also considered a possible byproduct of life?
Methane.
Oxygen. It's photosynthesis.
Oxygen, methane.
Something tells me methane, but is it oxygen?
No, it isn't. It is methane.
Oh, sorry.
Which we discarded as a possible answer. To prepare for biosign searches in exoplanet atmospheres, the Hubble Space Telescope used a total lunar eclipse in 2020 to detect the ultraviolet absorption signature of what trace gas in Earth's atmosphere?
Argon. No.
Argon is a trace. Is it argon?
No, it's ozone.
Brilliant.
Yeah, argon's not related
In
to any
various spellings,
life
what
as far as I know.
exclamation links all of these? Haydn's Symphony No. 30 in C major, the final part of Mozart's Exultate Jubilate, a well-known chorus from an oratorio by Handel.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah is correct, yes. Yesterday's Gone, nominated for the Mercury Prize in 2017, was the debut album of which hip-hop artist? He later released Not Waving But Drowning.
Kendrick Lamar. I don't know my hip hop, my modern day hip hop very well. But
Is it Loyal Kana?
It is indeed, yes.
Very well done.
Which singer released Alas, I Cannot Swim, nominated for the Mercury Prize in 2008?
That's Laura Marling.
Her other albums include Semper Femina.
Laura Marling?
Laura Marling is correct, yes. Nominated for the 2007 Mercury Prize, Fur and Gold was the debut studio album of which English singer?
Is it Emily Sandé?
No, it's Bat for Lashes. The Zagwe dynasty ruled large areas of which present-day landlocked African country from the 12th century, a prominent emperor being Lalibela, the traditional builder of the monolithic rock-hewn churches that bear his name?
Ethiopia?
Ethiopia is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on similar words.
I don't think of Ethiopia as landlocked because I'm not used to Eritrea yet.
Firstly, a verb meaning move in a wavy or rippling pattern.
Undulate?
It is undulate, yes. Secondly, to howl, wail, or lament loudly in Joseph Heller's Catch-22, Yossarian does this when Nately's lover attacks him.
Ululate.
Ululate.
Ululate is correct. Finally, an adjective meaning having hooves or hoof shape.
Ungulate.
Used, for example, of deer and horses.
Ungulate.
Ungulate is correct. Your picture starter, you'll see a self-portrait by a German artist. 10 points if you can give me the artist's name.
Albrecht Dürer.
It is Albrecht Dürer. Well done. Your bonuses are 3 more self-portraits in which the artists depict themselves in the guise of religious figures. Firstly,
That's Rembrandt.
Rembrandt van Rijn.
it is. Secondly,
We're going to have to pass.
Not a clue.
it's Artemisia Gentileschi. That's her self-portrait as St. Catherine of Alexandria. And finally,
Van Gogh would be my guess.
Edvard Munch.
no, it's Paul Gauguin.
It's
That's his
Gauguin,
Christ on
okay.
the Mount of Olives. In statistics, what name is given to the set of values that split a measured quantity into 10 ordered groups, each having the same frequency?
Deciles.
Deciles is correct. The Embarkation for Cythera is an early 18th century painting by which artist, variously described as French and Flemish?
Rubens?
Any suggestions? Flemish artists.
Wrong time.
Rubens.
No, it's not. It's Watteau. Titian's Bacchus and Ariadne is set on which island of the Cyclades, north of Crete, where Ariadne was abandoned by Theseus?
Naxos.
We're really bad at the bonus questions.
Yeah. Crete. No, they said
No,
Crete.
north of Crete.
Is it Skyros?
No, it's Naxos.
That was a
Depicting
pure
a
guess on my
contemporary
part.
event, the massacre at Chios, is a work of 1824 by which French painter?
Was it David?
No, it was Delacroix. The town of Avranches in Normandy gives its name to a compromise or agreement between the papacy and which Angevin ruler about 2 years after the murder of Thomas Becket?
Henry II.
Henry II is correct, yes. Born in about AD 100, which Greek mathematician gives his name to a theorem stating that the products of the diagonals of a cyclic quadrilateral is equal to the sum of the products of its opposite sides?
Yeah.
Pythagoras.
No, it's Ptolemy.
Oh.
Ptosis, that's Ptosis, is a medical term that refers to the drooping of what external body part?
Eyelid?
Yeah, that sounds right. Eyelid?
It is the eyelid, yes. Pteridology is the study of what non-flowering vascular plants that reproduce via spores?
Spores, like ferns?
Ferns, yeah.
Ferns?
Ferns is correct, yes.
Nicely done.
In philosophy, which two auxiliary verbs are used most often to describe the problem known as Hume's law or Hume's guillotine?
Hartford Hitchens.
Is ought.
Is and ought is correct, yes. In each case, name the author from two of their winning titles. Firstly, the Einstein intersection and Babel 17, winners in the mid-1960s.
Asimov?
Bradbury.
That was Chip Delaney. Rendezvous with Rama and the Fountains of Paradise, also winners during the 1970s.
Rendezvous with Rana is
Pass.
That was Arthur C. Clarke. 10
Clarke,
points for
yeah.
this. In geology, the weathering or disintegration of rock as a result of the action of what substance is denoted by the term haloclasty?
Wind?
No?
hail.
Hartford Lloyd.
Salt?
Salt is correct.
Salt, of course.
Your bonuses are on words that contain all 5 vowels once and once only. Firstly, discovered in 1974, the chemical element with the atomic number 106.
I don't know.
No, pass.
It's Seaborgium. A vegetable, secondly, of the species Brassica oleracea.
Cauliflower.
Correct. And finally, the country that borders both Tanzania and South Africa.
So Mozambique.
Yeah.
Mozambique.
You're right. Kings, we shall look forward to seeing you in the quarterfinals. And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
I can't tell whether they're getting tougher or whether I've just never really been good at this game. I get lucky with my guesses occasionally, but it's easy to get the odd right guess when you're playing for with both teams. Like, you have to remember that, at least often half the time you don't even have access to the bonus questions, and therefore they're off limits. But I get to attempt everything, so I have a major advantage. Nevertheless, it's a ton of fun. I'd be surprised if either of these teams makes it past the next round just based on some of the competition I've seen so far. But so much of it comes down to luck of the draw, first against who you're up against, the literal luck of the draw, and then the luck of what questions come up, what the topics of the quiz are. There's few enough questions in just half an hour that it can really go in any direction. Nevertheless, thank you guys so much for joining me, as always. Until next time, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.